to look at really systemic social problems. So I'll let Alex come up and tell you more about Rising Tide.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am deeply honored to be here every time I get a chance to share a stage with Dave and just hear the wisdom that he pours out. I'm just, anyone that follows the vision of trying to make a modern Clapham sect, I'm all in, so I'm just so cool. Even though I didn't technically travel very far to be here, I did just get off the plane from Tokyo for the past week. And so I didn't have a chance to customize a slide deck for this presentation. So I'll kind of weave it in and out. I want to spend my time today really not trying to pitch you on what we do, but trying to communicate some of the lessons that we have learned that is driving our work in Jersey City and beyond, so that if any of you are interested in the role that entrepreneurship can play in your city, that maybe you can bring some of these home. I'm always happy to speak with anyone about these ideas. I stand here today really because of the influence of the most successful entrepreneur that I've ever met. It is not Bill Gates, it's not Oprah Winfrey or Russell Simmons, it is this woman, Gannett. Gannett came to this country as a refugee from Ethiopia. Her country went through a terrible military dictatorship many years ago. She was forced into a refugee camp and then made it to Boston as a refugee and got a job as a waitress, but really only had one goal in life, which was to reunite with her daughter, who was 2 years old and had been left back home. If anybody is familiar with the wages that you earn working as a waitress, you can know that being able to afford to bring her daughter over and to care for her while here was just an impossible vision. And so this creative young woman turned to a really amazing skill that she had, designing and sewing dresses and kind of doing an Ethiopian American fusion in fashion design, and she was really good, and she would work a double shift at the restaurant and then come home late at night and work into the early hours of the morning sewing these dresses, again with that one goal in life, which was to reunite with her daughter. The reason why this story changed my life, and the reason why I'm here today, is because that daughter that she eventually did reunite with and brought back over to this country is the one that I met in college and fell in love with. We started Rising Tide Capital together, really inspired by her mom's story, and knowing that it is just one example of millions and millions and millions of them that are out there, where people who are out there working just hour after hour after hour, day after day, 7 days a week, multiple jobs, dreaming of a better life for their family, but their jobs don't pay enough. And this is really a problem in the United States. If you take the 90% of households in America, the average income is just around $32,000 a year. In a place like New Jersey, New York City metro area, a family of three, a mom and 2 kids, would need to earn $48,000 a year just to cover the minimum basic living costs of rent and groceries and utilities. This is the problem of working poverty, and this is really the work, the field that Rising Tide Capital plays in, and it is a really important role that I think all of us need to be mindful of, because if you take $32,000 a year and divide it by 12 and take taxes out, and then compare that to what we might pay for rent, you can imagine the difference that an extra $100 or $200 or $500 a month might make in the life of that family. So rather than going into details about how we work, I'll just say that we got interested in this field of entrepreneurship because of the work of Muhammad Yunus and microfinance on a global level. We thought Rising Tide Capital was going to be a microfinance institution working in inner city communities in the United States. But one of the things we realized was that all of the investment and interest and excitement was around capital in its financial dimension. And we came to see that for microfinance to really have the kind of impact that it can achieve in the United States and globally, you need to be making human capital investments as well. And nobody yet had really charted out what it looked like to deliver high-quality education and consulting services for the entrepreneurs that could benefit from microfinance. So that's what Rising Tide Capital does. We are working on a model where we can package the systems, the curriculum, the back-end infrastructure that we've built over the past 12 years and offer it up to social entrepreneurs in other cities around the United States and globally in the future, so that they don't have to spend the 12 years that we've spent building everything from scratch. And I guess just in the very brief time I have left, I just want to point to 3 really important principles that if you are out here working in anything related to the field of entrepreneurship and working poverty, I think number 1, creativity, the power of creativity is the greatest untapped resource that we can harness in a confrontation of poverty, of working poverty, of economic inequality. To be made in the image of God is to have this burning fire of creativity within us. And if we can tap into that in any of our approaches, that is one of the greatest resources that's out there, and certainly entrepreneurship is one of them. The other thing is the power of small. There was a slide earlier on kind of the wisdom of God and being foolishness in the world's eyes. We can evaluate businesses based on their P&L and their balance sheet. But again, if you look at the role that Ganette's business played in the life of her family, that business never added up to a huge amount in the world's eyes. But what it achieved over multiple generations is transformative, and we need to keep on to a vision that recognizes the power of the mustard seed. And then finally, this work, in the way that we evaluate it, we have an obligation to our philanthropic investors to be producing increases in household income and jobs and revenue and tax base, and Rising Tide measures all that. But really, I think the greatest power that you can achieve out there has to do with the way that you empower entrepreneurs as change agents in their own community. We have entrepreneurs that have graduated from our program and have gone on to win elected statewide office. They're running local chapters of the NAACP and the PTA. You are essentially empowering change agents when you empower an entrepreneur, and that's one of the most powerful things you can do in a local community, is do that and then connect them together. So I will yield, but thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.